So, welcome, guys. I would like to talk to you about change of structure in XAUUSD gold. All right, guys. When price is trending upwards, we are going to see moves like this: a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low, and then a higher high. All right, as well as when price is trending downwards, we're going to see a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, breaking this previous low. If it must break this previous low. If it's not breaking this previous low, price is not indicating anything to us yet. Now when it breaks this low, price is looking towards creating a lower high. This lower high would not break this high unless price is trying to go back up. All right, now once price gets to areas like this, price would look for opportunities of how to take out this low right here. Okay, so with that being said, you can take a screenshot of this because this will help in understanding what I'm about to explain. I'm waiting for you guys to take a screenshot before we move to the next phase. All right, I'm just going to take this off. Okay, now when price is about switching structure, a lot of you call it change of character. I mean, a lot of you have different names for it. All right, it does not matter. All that matters is as long as it indicates what price is about to do, you're going to see something like this. You're going to see something like this. And price is trending downwards, creating a lower low and a lower high, a lower low. Sorry about that. And a lower high, a lower low, a lower high. Okay, now when price gets to this area where it's about to make this lower high, if price has an intentions of moving upwards while it is creating a lower low and lower high, you can see this lows was not taken out by this. All right, there is a very clear difference that this higher low is higher than this higher low. All right, now what you see is this: you see price try to create a move to this point and then create a new low. Price will refuse to break out this low. If price is looking to go upward, price will refuse to break out this low. You see something like this, and then you will see something like this. All right, now what is this, you might ask? This is an equal high. All right, it's not higher than this high, it's not higher than this high low, it's not higher than this higher low, it's an equal highs. All right, now when price creates this equal highs, you see a higher low in the market. Now this higher low indicates to us that price is about to switch structure, but it is not yet confirmed until this equal high has been taken out. All right, now we can see from this point that price was creating a lower low and a lower high, a lower low which is lower than this low, a lower high, a lower low again, lower than this low. Now when it gets here, it creates an equal high. All right, equal high, and then price comes down. Ideally, price is supposed to create a new lower low to break out this low, but price saying no, I'm not trying to do that anymore, I'm trying to go up. and to tell us it's trying to go up, price creates a higher low, and then after this higher low, price comes back up, takes out the first equal high, takes out the second higher, the lower high. Okay, with that being said, I would like to take you into the chart and show you exactly what it is I've explained here. I'm just going to take out all of this so you can understand. Now this is good, the 1 hour time frame. I'm going to show you where price had a change of structure and how price went from a bearish move to the upward move. Now we have HH, we have HL, we have LL, and we have LH. All right, wherever you see a HH, that is an higher high. Wherever you see a LH, that is a lower high. Wherever you see a LL, that is a lower low. And wherever you see a HL, that is a higher low. All right, from this point right here, guys, please stay with me, we can see that price had a very strong bullish push from this area. We have a higher high, we have a higher low, price refusing to break this low, and after price created this higher low, price created a new higher high, higher than this previous high. Just like I previously explained to you guys, price creates a new higher high, and after this higher high, price comes back down to create a higher low again, guys, refusing to take out this low. And then what do we see next? We see price creating a new higher high. All right, now a new higher high is being formed. How do we know it's an higher high? Because the high is higher than this previous high. Now after this high is being formed, price created a lower low. Now why do we call this a lower low? We call this a lower low because this went against what price was doing initially. Do you understand? Are you with me, guys? This went against what price has been doing initially. What has price been doing initially? Price had been creating this higher high, higher low. The rule of the higher low is price should not break out the previous low it's created the higher low from. All right, now price got here, price creates a new higher high in the market. When a new higher high is being formed, we're expecting to see a higher low if price is still in the business of going upwards. But instead, we get price breaking all the way from this point down to this point. All right, price is expected to stop here, create a higher low, just like the way it did here and the way it did here. Price is expected to create the same here, but price break all the way down. All right, stay with me, guys. Let's see what happened next. Now what happened next instead? After price creates this lower low, what happened instead? Price went all the way up onto where? To the neckline it broke out from. Remember, guys, this was the point it is expected to react from. All right, this was the point it's expected to react from, but instead price get to this point. After creating a lower low, price creates a lower high. Remember what I said, guys, when price is about to go down, price will create a lower low and then lower high, a LL and a LH. Now when price creates this lower high, price begins to create a lower low. All right, the next move in the market is a lower low. All right, I will zoom out the screen to show you that, guys. Okay, we went from this point, we went from this higher high to this higher low, right? Now price created to this lower low, price created a lower high. Now when this lower high is formed, price comes down to create a lower low. All right, when this lower low is formed, you can see the market dynamics has already switched from the bullish trajectories once was now to the downward trajectory. And how do we know that? Because price has stopped creating what it's been creating here. Now price is creating a different form. Now what's the form like? A lower low and then a lower high. All right, now when this lower high is formed, price comes down to create this new lower low. All right, now when this lower low is formed, price creates a new lower high, and then for the third time, price create this lower low. This is the third lower low, guys. All right, now when that lower low is formed, what do we see? We see price creating a new lower low. All right, now this is where it all gets interesting, and I would like you all to pay attention, guys. All right, I'm just going to take out all of this so you can see what I'm about to explain clearly. Now remember, guys, we went from creating a bullish we went from creating a bullish move to creating a bearish move. All right, now we could call this indication, correction, and continuation. This is the concept of continuations I like you guys to pay attention to. Now we were on this downward move. Look what happened when price was preparing to go back up. All right, when price is preparing to go back up, we see this lower low that is being formed turn into a higher low. This is the first equal high. All right, just like I explained to you in the beginning of the video, I explained to you that when price has an intentions of going up, price will create an equal high. How do I know this is an equal high? We are coming down all the way from this point, and then when we get here, all right, price created the last lower low, and then ideally what should come into play is that price should reverse to up to this point and then create a new lower high, just like we see here. All right, but instead price creates an equal high. Why do we call this an equal high? Because it is equal to the previous high that has been formed in the market. Now when price creates this equal high, price come all the way down. Price reacted to the equal high. Some sellers came into the market and tried to push price down. All right, but the buyers who came into the market from this zone, they were very, very strong. All right, they are not accepting for price to go downwards, and instead what do we see? We see that they overpowered the sellers. Right, they overpowered the sellers. They came up to this point right here, and then they take out the previous high, the previous lower high. Now when that lower high has been taken out, price comes all the way to create this new low. All right, price come all the way to create this new low that we see here. This is a higher high, a higher low. So we went from a lower high, a lower low, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, to now a higher high. All right, this is indicating to us that price had switch structures. Now a lot of you might not understand what this is, and I'm going to try to break it down as much as possible. Now I'm still going to give you another explanation, guys. Now this line right here you see is a line that tells us what price is doing. All right. Now, when sellers were pushing price, they were enjoying the ride. They were pushing price up to this point. All right, up to this gray box. Look at what happened, guys. Pay attention. Look at what happened. When sellers pushed price up to this point, buyers came into the market. All right, buyers came into the market. Now, how do we know buyers came into the market? Buyers are the one in the green candle. All right, now I'm just going to drag this out so you can see clearly. All right, buyers came into the market. Now, when buyers came into the market from the zone, we don't know what buyers' intentions are. Buyers' intention could be anything. All right. Now, how do we confirm this is a legitimate buyer? This is a kind of buyer that has an interest to push price to its intended direction to create a very massive RR in the market. Now, how do we know that? We know that by price react, what the buyer does, how the buyer react to key zones. Now, when buyers come into the market, they are not trustworthy. We don't know what they want to do. They can decide to push price to this point and then continue downwards. All right, but what we do know is, however price reacts to this point, to this higher, to this lower high, will determine, because this is the last lower high in the market. All right, this is the last boss. Think of the lower high as the last boss of the market. All right, and these are new fighters. These are new dominants of the market. These people are coming in to take the territory from the sellers. How we know they are going to win is to wait for them to fight the last boss, and this is the last boss domain. This is what the last boss. This is where the last boss is waiting to see. Okay, let's see if you guys are powerful enough to fight me. Now, take a look at what happened, guys. When buyers get to the line of battle, when they go to the line of war, where they need to fight out sellers, look at what happened, guys. Seller came into the market indeed to fight, right? But what determines if seller would win is if sellers, the same way buyers were able to push price all the way from this point, from this lower low straight up to meet the final boss. If the final boss is able to come into the market and then dominate the market again, just like the way it did here, it came into the market and then it drove price all the way from the lower high down to the lower low, right? If the boss is able to do the same thing here, it means the sellers are still strong and they are not ready to back down for the market. But instead, look at what happened, guys. Sellers try to repeat the same thing they did here. A lot of you might call this an engulfing candle and whatnot, right? All right, I respect whatever name you call it, but this is how I like to break down chart for my own understanding. Now, when price gets to this point, all right, seller tried to push price down, but the buyers were saying, we are so strong and we're not allowing you to take price all the way down from the initial point we brought it up from. So instead, buyers applied more pressure and then they takes out the final boss. This was the point where the final boss died. All right, the final boss finally surrendered on this candle. Now, how do we know that the final boss surrendered on that green candle? All right, look at what happened immediately. Price breaks out the line and the territory the final boss was dominating. The territory the final boss pushed price all the way from this point down to this point. Look at what happened here, guys. Please take a look at what happened. Immediately buyers came into the market and then they break past this line. There was a correction. Now, a lot of you might not understand what correction is. I'm going to try to break that down as well. What correction is immediately there is a new boss on the market. All right, immediately there's a new boss on the market, there is always a correction to see if the boss is actually a legitimate ruler of the market. Now, how do we know this? When price breaks out of this territory that was once dominated by sellers, some new set of sellers try to verify to see, yo, can we trust you enough to entrust the directions of the chart to you? How do we know how to verify you? They try to push price down to verify exactly what this previous boss was trying to fight here. They try to push price down again. But look at what happened, guys. Buyers came into the market again, and then they claimed the territory again. They were unable to push price below this line. This is the territory line, guys. The line the previous seller boss pushed it all the way down. They were able to dominate this line. They were able to hold down the line, and then price began to trend upwards. Now, how do we know price trend upward after the fight and the victory? We see higher high being formed, and then we see higher low being formed. We see a new higher high breaking past the previous higher high, and then we see a new higher low being formed. All right, ideally this should be where I should have gotten into the market. Around this area, set my stop loss below this higher low. All right, because it's a new boss. A new boss is in terrain, and then I'll look to take price from this point to maybe to maybe this point, and that would be a 1:4 RR. But I missed this trade, guys. And why did I miss this trade? I missed this trade because I was not in the chart when the move begins. All right, now we're having a consolidations. Now this is a consolidation, guys. This is a consolidation. A consolidation is when price is still creating a higher high, but it is so chubby. You can see it's too chubby, and it's not as straight as it's once were. All right, this is a consolidation. So we'll look to see what price is about to do after this consolidation is over. If price breaks below this low, because we are currently seeing a lower low week right here. If price breaks below this low, then I'll be looking to take the trade from the lower low and then the lower high. I'll be looking to take the trade. But if that does not happen, instead I'll look to take price after this lower highs has been taken out and there's a correction in the market. I hope this clarifies a little bit, and with that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next drop. Thank you for watching. Stay blessed.